All right, next portfolio is Sarifi or Sarif. I'm not sure if that's VR developer. All right, let's check it out. Ooh, that music. Sorry, YouTube. Um, so this portfolio is actually a Wix site, which I won't Josh on that at all. Man, that's a weird phrase. I won't Josh on it at all. Where did that come from? Anyways, so one thing I noticed when I was mousing over these on my iPad, that it said the word Unreal on it, but it's not saying anything here. But when I click on them, oh, that is weird. Huh. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at this project. So environment artist and VR developer. Derp, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know where that came from, man. How weird, right? So all I'm seeing are these. It's rough to see your portfolio with it, where like I have to click through these and I have to wait for them to switch. Let's see if does it switch on its own if you click on it. Doesn't look like it. Anyways, I've always been a fan of like being able to see all the images all at once. The overall image is pretty strong. Studio Ghibli, what? It's an old project in my 4 years ago. Oh wow, this looks pretty good for 4 years ago. I decided to go back into it. Oh, okay, I see. So last year you went back in and you made it on Unreal 4. Just kind of converted it over. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Artstation. And an Artstation portfolio is free, right? Yeah, so when you click on them, they maximize, and they hold the picture. This back thing here looks untextured, which I guess is something. Dude, that song, though. There's some weird music in here. Mechamize. All right, so sorry, we're getting a little distracted here. So let's look at this one. So I really like the scale of this one. I like how you've taken Anchor Watt, but like kind of turned it into your own thing, and the leaves are so like soft. I really like the lighting here. This shot's a little weird just because like you're not sure what you're going to look at. This one's much stronger framed. Yeah. I guess the grass is not very like here in this image. The grass is very localized to the areas that kind of help the framing, whereas like when you look at like this one's pretty cool too. I think where these pieces ground themselves is like where you kind of want to put all the grass, maybe along the edge here. But this one specifically, like there's not much going on in here. So framing wise, you're trying to figure out like what, like it just feels very empty, I guess. I think if you took one of these elements and just put it here, or some other stones close by, that would help a lot. Let's see, actually. So you're saying your current weakness is material creation. So like actually Quicksilver substance. This one looks cool. So this pillar, I think if it was close to the camera, it would really like help separate the scene a little bit more. But yeah, how everything kind of goes back into the darkness back here with the ambient occlusion and the lighting. And then it comes back into another courtyard in the back there. That's really nice. Oh, what? Hang on. Okay, I think your FOV in this shot is just really squishing everything. So this pillar is like really flattening out with the rest of the scene. Whereas like when you look at it from this other angle, it's actually much further away than I thought. Unless there's one hiding behind this and I don't see it. Yeah, this is really cool though. You know what's really interesting too is like if you made this taller, maybe put it around here, then the chains start up here, you're gonna get a much more extreme curve, which can be a little bit more dynamic. And the shadow that this would cast would probably start to go over some props, which would help separate, like say the shadow went over one of the chairs, you would then see one of those chairs back there separating from the platform behind it. And so that would just kind of push the separation and shape dynamics a little bit further. Is that a person standing there? Yeah, the overall image though of this is very, very nice. Don't be scared to bevel. Even if it's just like these simple, like just these guys alone, beveling the corners of these would help the overall image here. Whoa. So this is a Steady's. Wait, what? Hang on. Oh man, I recognize that vehicle. Wait, so are those all in here? See, I'm expecting when I click in here, I'm expecting to exit out of it. So there's a lot of like weird UI quirks with your portfolio that I have to learn and get used to instead of just looking at your art. That's a nice car. Skyline, man. Yeah, I remember this being used a lot during my 3ds Max days and like good material work for 3ds Max. It does feel like a lighting artist portfolio. And you know what's really funny is some of the best lighting artist portfolios I've seen tend to have photography more so than lighting studies. It's like what catches their eye lighting wise. If they know how to replicate that in a few shots in 3D, then you're like, oh man, okay, I want this person's brain in their eyes. I want them to light my stuff. All right, let's keep going through here. This one's pretty interesting. So this one, oh wait, what? There's more in here. So this is one of the examples where it's like you actually don't need to ZBrush this stuff. Like I guess it could just be on a texture sheet, right? That's tiling and you're just moving the normals around. And I mean, even so much as like these little indent things here, you could float those on top of the mesh, and you could actually, if you wanted to, not pay for any normal maps except for the little decals and model all of these. Like you could totally afford that. Oh, with your phone number in here, be careful with it being typed out, because bots will just comb websites, especially Wix. They'll comb websites and they'll grab your, oh nice, they'll grab your email. Can I highlight it? Yeah, they'll grab your email and your phone number, and they'll do whatever they want to do with it. Let's keep going here. Thanks, Curious. So with this one, I think the lighting is very, I mean, this is 2013, so the lighting is a little bit more old school. It feels a little bit more flat or like non-dynamic just because PBR, right? PBR wasn't really out yet. I think this is, yeah, it's a CryEngine, so I guess it's a little, it's like pseudo PBR. So I guess as we scroll down here, it gets older. No? Interesting. Oh man, some 360 stuff going on here. For your device, it's 6,000 wide. Your device only supports what? Hang on. I'm like, what does it mean? Big, what's up, man? How you doing? Whoa. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm thinking like, whoops. I'm thinking that we're spending more time on your portfolio because I am navigating through here. So, as far as material creation goes, it's interesting because like currently in my profession, like at least in AAA, I'm not necessarily making any materials. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, compression in Artstation can be pretty rough sometimes, especially with some of the higher frequency information. But I just want to see the overall, right? I can like glance at a portfolio and immediately be like, oh, okay, this person's worth like digging into and looking at more images. And even with the compression, you should be able to answer most of your questions when it comes to should I hire this person or interview this person. Um, Sorry, I'm kind of skipping around now just for time reasons. But I think I would love to see you texture something like this. Like a lot of the texturing of this could actually be tileable materials. And just focusing on a PBR range for that given material. Like say this is marble and this is like a stone. Just getting a good marble and a stone material with all of their maps and just applying those to wherever you think that they should be going, I think, yeah, I think that would show your work off pretty well. Though I will say this is also quite beautiful just because you're not, textures like, they can kind of block the view sometimes if they're not done right. But don't let that deter you from doing it. So in general, I would say this is a pretty strong portfolio. Um, I would move everything to Artstation and save yourself some money. And let's go in here, lighting. And then I think I would just suggest figuring out like, so you're an environment artist and a VR developer. Ooh, ooh. I liked that one. Hang on here. See, I have to slowly get to it. Give me a second here. That one. That feels nice. Oh wow, that's a bevel that you actually see in architecture. I've actually seen that on pillars. But the overall image here is really strong. It just feels nice. Man, you could probably do this in Unreal now quite accurately without having to do mental ray. I like the attention to detail with the pieces, the light sources hanging from the ceiling, and then like the kind of the framing for the curtains that don't exist for the windows. I'm like, now I'm trying to think, wait, is there supposed to be curtains there? The curtains would really add like that extra layer of detail. But I guess what I'm curious about is what you want to do. Do you want to continue doing VR work? Um, I'm assuming that's why maybe your material work isn't as good as you want it to be, just because like when you, and this is me assuming because I don't do any VR, uh, that once you start going down like either the AAA route or the indie route for console or PC, that you really have to focus on materials and shaders. Though I will say VR is, there are some projects that have come out that are just like, what the hell? How did they do this in VR? That's crazy. But yeah, definitely right now I'm not seeing much. Like I would love to have seen this one with textures. Even though I'm seeing these and those look really strong, I would save these as well. They're like both quite strong. But all right, I'm gonna get on to the next portfolio because I'm just kind of, I'm saying the same stuff over and over. It's a strong portfolio though, and focus on your material work and think about composition. Some of these angles are really dynamic, and then some of them are really lacking a subject. But yeah. All right, I will be right back and we look at the next portfolio. See ya.